Welcome back to No Man's Sky, everyone. Jason here, and this is absolutely the largest, most insane update I have seen for No Man's Sky in many, many years. I'm talking like all the way back to the next update that came out in 2018. Like, it is that massive, guys. Holy cow. I have over 60 notes. So this is not going to be a quick, hey, here's the update video. This is going to be a long one, so buckle up, guys. If you want the short version, this is huge. It overhauls everything about planets. So Worlds Part 1 overhauled mostly water, but it added in some features on the side. This is like 2 or 3 steps above Worlds Part 1. This is huge. So I will link the detailed notes down below in the description if you want to go to the webpage, but I was scrolling. It took me half an hour to go through and just read it. I was like, oh, this is huge. So let's jump into the details. Just know that this is a massive, massive update. We have a new expedition coming next week, and Twitch drops are coming. Big notes right there off the bat. But let's get into Sean's tweet this morning. We were not expecting an update this week. I wasn't anyway. I thought it was going to be next week. So Worlds Part 2 from Sean Murray over on Twitter. Gas giants, a whole new planet type. New terrain, meaning detail and how it's actually generated. Lighting overhaul, so now the lighting looks better. The shadows are better. Inventory sorting, everyone. There's so many awesome creators that were asking for that. New solar systems. They have new systems now. Deeper oceans, and not just deeper oceans. These are like miles deep. Right now, you can go down maybe 200 feet. Or before, I should say, 200 feet. Now you can go down miles. It is insane. New biomes, weather hazard, Starship archiving, meaning we can have more starships. Abandoned mode, which means it takes away all of the aliens in the systems. You can go abandoned. Deep sea creatures, a whole bunch of deep sea creatures. Dynamic water, meaning it actually is affected by the terrain, the wind, a ship when it lands on it, everything. Improved cooking, the overhauled cooking, evolving storyline, and the Titan expedition. Guys, holy cow. Let's jump into some of the notes here. This is going to be a long video. I know I keep saying that, but usually I try to keep these under 10 minutes. This is probably going to be a massive, massive video. So here we go. First note, Worlds Part 2 introducing Update 5.5. Update 5.5 Worlds Part 2 transforms the universe with new stars, new story, and new planets. Explore ancient ruins, gas giants, and water worlds. We have actual water worlds now because they can go deeper, and I'm assuming, I haven't played yet, I'm assuming the miles deep oceans are only going to be found on the water worlds themselves. That way they can just use the whole like procedural generation to make that underwater area, but I don't know. And discover strange creatures, varied biomes, and dramatic terrain. Featuring new gameplay, huge improvements in lighting and water rendering, and much more. Our journey continues. Good Lord, guys. All right. Next note, or first one. Let's do this. Spectacular new landscapes. Traverse wilder, stranger, and more alien terrain than ever before. The algorithm of the universe has evolved to generate beautiful new mountains, deep valleys, and sprawling plains on untouched planets waiting to be discovered. Dude, the shot in the trailer of the zoom out, it really felt like Light No Fire. Like one of the shots from Light No Fire is a snowy mountain that is just massive, like miles high. This feels very similar to that. A new class of star has manifested in the universe. This is the universe expands. Purple class solar systems feature countless new worlds ready for discovery. Weave space and time for the autophage in an epic new story to reveal these mysterious hidden shards of reality. So we don't know if this is going to be like end game stuff or if it's just a random occurrence like the Pirate Outlaws or the Stories of the Deep that you just run into. We don't know. I assume that it's a autophage storyline, so that means we probably need to get to the end, but I have no idea. We are just finding out about this, and it's been like an hour up, so we haven't tested it out yet. Deep oceans plunge miles below the surface into incredibly deep oceans, far removed from the light of any sun, illuminated only by the glow of corals. These shadowy ocean floors harbor many otherworldly landscapes and secretive aquatic life forms. So they've overhauled how oceans work. That is freaking amazing. Inventory sorting. Organize your inventory with a single button press. Automatically sort your inventory by name, type, value, or color. That's awesome. Guys, you know I always organize like all my ferrite dust, all my stuff. Oh my god, this is going to be so good. Discrete stacks of the same item will also be consolidated, meaning if you have like 2 stacks of ferrite dust, it will just push them into one stack if they can fit. So like if you're at 9,999, it's not going to be able to stack it any higher. But we were able to get all of that done. Oh my god, that's awesome. So then we have, wait a minute, I'm messing up here. And then we have gas giants. Huge gas worlds have formed across the galaxy, bringing their own unique environments and materials. These giant planets are characterized by immense atmospheric pressure, tremendous gravity, and volatile atmospheres, and each is orbited by a collection of moons. We have gas giants. So, Starfield, take a hint. We can land on gas giants. Anyway, there we go. In Stellar Multitudes, new narrative-driven mission deepens the lore of the universe and expands upon the story of the Atlas, Atlantid, and the robotic autophage life forms. Meet new friends and reconnect with older ones in an epic adventure to recover lost star systems, guys. I have a feeling this is going to be endgame stuff. Again, we don't know, but I assume because it really, really focuses on the autophage, they are more towards the end of the storyline. So you might need to finish a whole bunch of stuff in No Man's Sky before you can get to these awesome, awesome missions. So then we have Deepwater Guardian. Dredging the seas for fish will sometimes provoke a Deepwater Guardian to emerge from the depths and defend its watery children. Travelers who defeat the vengeful creature will earn a unique Child of Aquarius title in commemoration of their victory. So, if you fish, you will randomly get a huge jellyfish, Helios, to come get you. That's freaking awesome. And then fishing milestones. So, display the evidence of your fishing achievements with a selection of new tank-themed helmets. So, this is actually a helmet you can put on. These unusual appearances override will replace the traditional head with a special cranium aquarium interchange and can be earned through reaching milestones in fishing. So, as you reach different milestones, you will earn these different helmets. That's freaking amazing. Heck yes. So, we also have dense jungles. This is what I almost ran into earlier. Delve into the thick vegetation and dense undergrowth of lush jungles. Every jungle is unique and can feature different colors and dominant species of trees. So now, instead of just having random spatterings of trees on a planet, some planets will have jungles that it sounds like they're just going to be really thick and dense jungles in the game. That's freaking amazing. All right. Environmental hazards. Planets now feature local hazards in addition to the survival challenges posed by the weather. Explorers should be on the lookout for drifting clouds of toxic spores, small-scale radioactive fallout, volcanic eruptions, and geothermal geysers. So not only do you have just random storms that appear, as you're running around a planet, you will just hit some random things that are always there. Like there's always going to be a geyser there that's going to hurt you. That's freaking awesome. So almost like the hazardous flora, the plants that hurt you. There's going to be permanent hazardous stuff going on. And then we have Abandoned Mode. A new custom mode game can be set the universe population to abandoned. Abandoned Mode removes all alien life forms from the game, creating a lonelier and more challenging survival experience. So this is almost like Fugitive Run, where we avoid all the other aliens, except for there's no aliens by default. There's nobody around. So I might be playing around with the Abandoned Mode because that's freaking amazing sounding. It's going to be definitely harder because if there's no aliens, you probably can't get any upgrades. How can you get upgrades if there's no aliens to buy them from? And then They put in a note, but there's going to be a lot of these as we go through the notes. There's going to be a lot of these hits, but there's a ton of animals in the game. So we have one for seahorses. The diversity of marine life has increased with the shoals of seahorses now swimming through the oceans. There are a ton of brand new animals that we've never seen before, and that is freaking epic. Then we have enhanced water. The surface of the water is now much higher fidelity. Clouds, nebulas, and other planets are now reflected, so you can see more in the water surface. And terrain reflections have been improved with accurate lighting and fog. Subsurface scattering has been enhanced, creating spectacular glows when the sun's light grazes the crest of a wave. The diversity of the foam has also increased, with some planets featuring glowing foam. So the foam on the water, whenever it crashes or it has a huge wave, now it has glowing foam on some planets. That's freaking amazing. Anomalous creatures. Curious geometric life forms can be found floating around some planetary surfaces. Their inner lives unknowable to more conventional creatures. So now we have, it sounds like we have anomaly creatures that just show up on regular planets. Before, they were only put on special anomaly planets, exotic planets. But it sounds like these ones will either there's more of them or they're going to show up on different planets. Either way, we have more anomalies to go find. Then we have Enter the Abyss. Explorers who brave the ultra-deep waters found on some worlds will face a range of increased hazards as they plunge into the dark. Equip the new pressure membrane and go on the hunt for rich mineral seams, exotic sea glass, and colossal creatures. So we have an underwater upgrade to allow us to go deeper in the ocean. So you're going to need that to go deeper down, which is freaking weird and awesome. I think we talked about that, having to actually have an upgrade to get down farther. Then we have a smoother modding experience. This was actually in testing on PC for the last, I think, 3 weeks. So player-created game modifications are now handled more robustly, greatly improving compatibility across games. Now, this is only going to be for PC. This is not going to be on Xbox and PlayStation as far as I know. Mod authors can now create their mods more precisely, reducing the frequency of the conflicts and improving conflict handling. Mod users have more control over the behavior of their mods with the addition of the mod settings file, which allows installed mods to be prioritized or disabled. So, they overhauled how mods work and interact with the game, and they also changed the filing system. We're going to get into that a little bit later. But the game on PC specifically, this is not for Xbox or PlayStation, it allows mods, and now they have a whole overhauled experience that's going to hopefully make it better in the future. Right now, it's probably breaking every mod because they've overhauled it, so now everyone needs to update their mods for No Man's Sky, but yes, we have it there. And then we have Frozen Diversity. Explore a dramatic new range of icy planets with increased diversity of flora, minerals, and other terrestrial curios on Sub-Zero worlds. So, because they overhauled the terrain, generation of the whole system, all the planets now have an overhaul and they look different. So, when you go to icy worlds or hot worlds or whatever, they all have different setups now because it's been overhauled. The terrain procedural generation has been overhauled. So freaking A. Then we have Colossal Refiner. So the sturdy Colossus exocraft can now support a 3-slot mineral processing rig. So it's a large refiner inside of your Colossus, allowing travelers to process complex recipes while driving across the planet. This is freaking awesome. So now it gives you a use for exocraft. A lot of people, they sleep on the exocraft. They don't care about it, or they don't need it, or whatever. They don't think they do. Exocraft allow you to scan for different stuff. Now we have a huge refiner, a large refiner in the Colossus, which is going to really, really make it useful going forward, guys. So don't sleep on those exocraft. Giant squids, another new animal in water. A new species of tentacled mollusk now inhabit the waters of the universe. These haunting cephalopods range from the small to the truly colossal. So we have new squids that are underwater. Freaking dude, they've gone crazy and it is amazing. Then we have relic worlds. Explore the crumbling ruins of ancient civilizations. Excavate architectural blueprints and harvest polished stone to learn the secrets of their construction. So we've always had ruins, but now these are whole separate ruins, and you can actually build them in the game. So once you excavate them, you get blueprints, and you need the stone, it sounds like, to build them, which is freaking interesting. That's like one of the, if it's like what I think it is, that's one of the first things we needed a special material for. Like, you know, if you're building a normal base, you just need carbon, ferrite dust, whatever. Now you need a special stone, a polished stone. Anyway, dynamic water simulation. Starships, creatures, travelers, and other moving objects will now dramatically generate wakes, making water more responsive and interactive. So the water now interacts with other objects way more often. So heck yes, and it has better reflections. You see that freaking reflection there? We're getting clouds in there, and it looks really crisp and nice. Loving it. Then we have Feed the Universe. They have a food overhaul. Iteration Kronos now maintains a food market aboard the Space Anomaly, allowing travelers to mass donate different food items each day. Cooking also benefits from a large range of quality of life improvements, including an overhauled recipe catalog, more accessible nutrient processors, and smoother UI experience. So I don't know what they mean by more accessible nutrient processors. That means there's more than one. So either you can set them up at more, or it's easier to set up. Maybe we have a backpack refiner or a backpack processor that we can install. I don't know. But food has gotten an overhaul. I don't think it's going to be like as needed as we all thought it was going to be. I think it's still going to be an optional thing, but it's more accessible and gotten an overhaul, so that's freaking awesome. Manta Rays, another underwater creature they've added. Gentle manta rays can be discovered drifting serenely through the oceans and seas, their wings slowly beating as they follow the current. So we have so many more animals going into the game. Freaking amazing. And then we have towering waves. Tides and waves now more realistically impact objects floating on the ocean surface. Travelers, exocraft, and starships will gently bob with the swell of water or find themselves tossed about by violent waves during a storm. So now all the objects will be thrown around and maybe even like really, really messed up by huge waves in a storm. Then we have Enriched Seas. The biodiversity of underwater biomes has been greatly increased. The seas have been enriched with a range of new plant species and mineral formations. So underwater has been overhauled. We saw this a little bit in the game files last year. It is now in the game. We have an overhaul of the underwater stuff. They burst to life with bubbles, algae blooms, bioluminescent organisms, strange floating flora, and much, much more. So yeah, they are throwing all the stuff that we kind of saw in the game files. We're going to start seeing in the actual game now. The Titan Expedition. Coming soon is the Expedition 17 Titan. Awaken with other travelers upon a mighty gas giant. That's where the expedition starts. And embark upon a voyage to chart a dazzling array of new stars and new worlds. Complete milestones to earn exclusive rewards, including the stone-hewn Pillar of Titan Staff and imposing Wraith, a unique living starship. So we get a unique ship that is a living ship. It's a brand new living ship that we can earn in the expedition. And this, from the looks of it, will not start until next week. So until the Cursed Expedition ends. So we have to make sure to get the Cursed Expedition done, because next week we have the Titan Expedition starting. Heck yes. So lighting overhaul. Lighting throughout the game has been deeply reworked, increasing the precision of light sources and how light is reflected and absorbed by surfaces. Specular highlights are now more pronounced and dramatic, especially noticeable on distant terrain and metallic objects. And the hue of ambient lighting is more accurately reflects nearby surfaces. So they went through and overhauled the lighting system, not only on planets, but also the interiors of buildings as well, like the space stations. Floating Nautilus platform. The Nautilus, which is a submarine in No Man's Sky. Exocraft can now be summoned by a floating bay deployable upon the surface of any deep body of water. directly descend into the depths from the center of a vast ocean. So I have a feeling they did this because before, I think that we still have it, you had to make a submarine platform, a Nautilus platform that was underwater, but it wouldn't float. You had to put it on the ground, on the sea level, on the sea ground underneath the water. If the oceans are miles deep, it's going to be a pain to get down there. So that's why they had to make a floating platform to make sure you can actually deploy the submarine on a full-on water planet. Deep sea atmospherics. Explore the seabed to discover beautiful underwater landscapes with a unique ambience. Sound is muted in these abyssal depths. Light is scattered and vision obscured by murk and particles. Find your way along the glowing corals, guided by a few crepuscular rays of light that penetrate the dark. So that's the other thing. They overhauled the lighting, and the deeper you go into the ocean, the less light you see, which is freaking awesome. So I can imagine we find a really, really deep ocean that has like no light at the bottom of it. Fishing missions. Visit the mission agent at a space station to undertake solo fishing challenges, or head to the space anomaly to sign up for multiplayer fishing missions at the Nexus. Earn valuable rewards for your angling achievements. So now we have missions that will tell you, hey, go out and get certain fish or get this number of fish, and you get rewards for that. Freaking A. Then the thing so many people have been asking for, we have Starship cold storage. Travelers with a capital ship, so you need a freighter, can now make use of long-term storage for their starships, freeing up space to acquire new ships. Up to 18 additional ships. 18 additional. We can already hold 12. So that means we're up to 30 ships that you can have. So 18 can be stored, each of which retain their technology loadout ready for redeployment when needed. So it sounds like if you want to put a ship into cold storage, you cannot access it unless you get into your cold storage. So you have what is like our quick menu. You can call down 12 ships, but you have another 18 that's like in the cloud waiting for you, but you'd have to go back and reallocate it. So it saves out your settings and everything like that. It's just you can't see it and you can't call it in quickly. From what I can tell, maybe that's wrong. Maybe you can, but it sounds like it's in a storage far, far away that you can't quickly access. So you can't just call it in whenever you want like a traditional Starship could. Spore-filled worlds. New varieties of toxic planets. Again, every biome, it sounds like, has been totally revamped because the procedural generation has been revamped in the game. New varieties of toxic planets can be found across the universe. Their atmosphere is thick with spores from oversized polyps. So yeah, all of them. It's frozen, it's hot, it's toxic, it's radiation planets. They've all been overhauled because the generation has changed. Interior lighting overhaul. So just like the exterior on planets, interior as well. The brightness and colors of lighting in enclosed places such as caves, bases, space stations, and planetary buildings is more precisely localized. External lighting conditions are more accurately occluded by opaque surfaces, creating cozier interior atmospheres. So now interior lighting will have more of an effect on the objects around them in buildings and caves and all that. In caves especially, it's going to look really, really beautiful. I can't wait to jump in and see all this stuff, you guys. Water on moons. This is brand new. Lakes, seas, and oceans can now sometimes be found on the moons that orbit larger planets. So as far as I know, most moons, not all, some moons would have water, but now more moons will have water on them. And I'm guessing they're going to be way more prevalent. Like more water is going to be found, like little lakes and seas and stuff are going to be found on moons, which is amazing. We're doing a whole like water overhaul, which is freaking awesome. Faster loading. This is again going to be mostly for PC, but it also happens on a console as well. Cutting edge compression technology reduces game file size by more than 10%, allowing for larger content updates without increasing the download size or storage space consumption, and making all future patches smaller. Load times are up to 4 times faster, and improved data caching reduces hitching during transitions, such as when flying from a planetary atmosphere into space. So this is something I noticed in the experimental, and I wanted to make a video about it, but I did show it off on stream. So on PC specifically, they had a packaging, like the file packages were a set thing, you know, a universal thing, but it did not really work well. So if you left the planet, like if you were on a planet and you left the atmosphere, there was going to be a half-second like loading transition. So the game would freeze for half a second as it loaded from the planet to space. They've actually revamped the whole game file system to make it way more efficient, and I love it because I have not run into that loading pause in like the last 2 weeks. I've been on the experimental, but now it is in the actual game proper, and mostly that's going to be on PC simply because they already use that for consoles. So if you played on Xbox, you played on PlayStation, they were already using that file just to make it easier for those systems to actually play the game at a good frame rate, because it needs to unpack all these files as the game is playing along. They needed to make it more efficient. Now that's on PC, so if you have a powerful PC already, it's going to get even better. So then we have Hermit Crabs, another new additional animal thrown in on the water this time. Shy hermit crabs can be found scuttling across underwater terrains, improvising their mobile homes from a range of different shells, edge shell-like objects. Again, so many more animals added to the game. Floating islands. Free floating islands of terrain can now be discovered across a much broader range of planetary environments. Explore and build upon gravity-defying icy, toxic, radioactive, molten, and marshy islands. So they're adding the floating islands to way more planets. Before, with Worlds Part 1, they were a unique thing that only happened on certain planets. Usually it was on either Paradise or like overgrown planets. They were only found generally on those. Now they're going to be found across everything. Icy, toxic, radioactive, molten. A whole bunch of different planets now will have the floating islands, which is awesome. Water worlds. These rare planetary bodies have been entirely consumed by the waves, so there's no land whatsoever. Their surface, one endless ocean. These worlds are home to the deepest of water, stretching miles beneath the surface. So these are not going to have any landmass whatsoever, it sounds like. So you're going to need your aqua jets, your special landing gear for your ship. Again, something they added in Worlds Part 1. Now you're going to need it to land on these water worlds. Freaking amazing. So, oh, wait a minute. Oh, my notes. Okay, there we go. Boom. I have so many notes. Prawns, another animal added to the water. Underwater explorers can now happen upon aquatic shrimp-like crustaceans as they scuttle and swim in both lakes and open sea. So we now have shrimps that are all over the place. Wait a minute. Oh, no, wait a minute. No, there we go. We got this one. Bizarre life forms. Rare, whimsical, and mind-bogglingly strange new species of creature can be discovered dancing across some worlds. So we have a new, like, animals. We have a whole bunch of new animals going on in the game. Freaking amazing. And then we have richer shadows. Again, a lot of lighting updates in the game. Throughout an extension to ambient occlusion technology. Oh, through an extension to the ambient occlusion technology, micro shadow detail has been added to the game, increasing contrast on everything in the universe, from life forms to ships to potted plants. So now we have more detailed small shadows that are around objects and things like that. Okay, I like that. Then we have Constructible Ruins. Bring ancient architectural secrets into planetary bases with a collection of buildable ruins, including slabs, statues, arches, totems, and more. Explore relic worlds to learn the blueprint and mine polished stone to construct your own replica pieces. So you'll see in this screenshot, there is a new material called polished stone. You need that in order to build your ancient ruin stuff. So that, again, that is a unique item. Like, we haven't seen that in in the game generally before. Usually it's like, oh, you need ferrite dust, carbon, pure ferrite, whatever, a general material that you find everywhere. Polished stone is very, very special, it seems. So that's going to be cool to kind of go out and find that so you can build it. Oh, sorry, my notes. My God. MultiTool Archiving. So just like your spaceships, you have another, like a cold storage, a cloud for your multi-tools. The buildable weapon rack base part now allows travelers to archive up to 18 multi-tools, freeing up space to earn new equipment. Archived multi-tools retain all installed technology and can be reactivated at any time. Again, it seems like when you put it away in this storage, you can't quickly access it. Like, you can't just hot swap to it, either the ship or the multi-tool. But if you go to the terminal and you say, hey, that one multi-tool I found, like, you know, last week or 2 months ago, I want to pull that one out and use it. So you can go back in there and take it back out, but you have to go back to the terminal. You can't just you can't use your quick menu to go right back to it immediately, which I'm okay with. We can keep a library of stuff now and not have to worry about, oh, I have to get rid of one because I don't have any more room. You have way more room now. Arid wastelands. Skim across the sands and admire the imposing rock formations of new and diverse desert environments, searching for delicate desert blossoms hidden among the dunes. So again, another overhaul of every biome it's happening because the terrain has been totally revamped. Bioluminescent Striders. Discover exotic new bioluminescent creatures. These are brand new. These alien life forms pulsate and glow as they traverse their homeworlds, their beating hearts visible through translucent skin. So this was a reward. I can't remember. I think it was with the Cursed Expedition. We get a green translucent animal. Now they're going to be found randomly on worlds. That is awesome. So now you don't have to worry about getting one special from the expedition. You can just go find them on your own. Nutrient Ingestor. This is a brand new technology. I'm pretty sure it's going to be like a nutrient processor. A new exosuit technology has been added. The Nutrient Ingestor allows players to input large amounts of edible items. So this is food you find out in the world. These nutrient sources will be automatically consumed at one time, or consumed one at a time as necessary, providing powerful and long-lasting benefits. So it sounds like before you would make a special food and it might improve your backpack, your jetpack, for 2 minutes. But you had to manually go in and eat it all the time and keep your jetpack going. Now you have an ingester, a technology that basically, it sounds like if you put a stack of 10 of this food in there, it will just keep doing it over and over again. So as it runs out after 2 minutes, it'll just pop another one. It'll go for 2 minutes, and then when it runs out, it'll pop another one automatically. You don't have to worry about manually doing it yourself, which is freaking awesome. It makes it more viable to use food because I don't have to remember to use it all the time, which is awesome. Then we have customizable fishing rigs. So your fishing pole, you can customize it. Create your own unique angling appearing by customizing the fishing rig with a range of line colors and bespoke new floats. So you can customize your fishing line, and look at all these cool little floats you can put on there. So little bobbers. I like that. You can customize your fishing pole, which is awesome. So even more, now we can use that. The Pillar of Titan Staff. This is going to be a expedition reward. Earn this unique staff during the Titan expedition. That's going to be next week again. Though hewn from polished stone, it floats in the hand as if it were it had no weight at all. As if it were no weight at all. Okay, there we go. I can't read. Sorry, guys. It's early in the morning. I haven't had my coffee yet. So this is going to be one of the rewards we get from the Titan expedition, again, starting next week in February. So heck yes on that. Wait a minute. Oh my God, I lost my notes. And boom, there we go. Oh my God, we're like a little more than halfway through. My God, how long have we been going? 35. Holy shoot. Okay. Exocraft flamethrowers. All terrestrial exocraft can now be fitted with a mounted flamethrower for devastating damage in short-range combat. Guys, they are slowly adding in the flamethrower into the game. Like, we got it for the mech, But now we can get it for every exocraft. You can actually install it instead of a laser. You can have a flamethrower. We are that much closer to having it on our multi-tools. I don't know if you guys remember, years ago, they accidentally put out the flamethrower in the game, and we all grabbed it before they deleted it from the game files. But now it's gone, and you can't put it on your multi-tool anymore. But guys, we're getting that much closer. Anyway, hostile flora. The range and diversity of hostile plant life has been increased. So all the snapping plants or the exploder plants, we have more versions of that. With new species of hazardous flora taking root across the universe. So we have more of these dangerous plant life that's going to attack you when you're running around on a planet. Then there's colorful marine life. The diversity of aquatic life has been significantly increased with a large number of colorful and radiant procedurally generated new fish species. So now we have new fishes that are going to be in the water. That is freaking awesome. And again, they have all new life as well, like seahorses, manta rays, all that kind of stuff. Then we have raindrops on water. Individual droplets of rain falling on the water now create tiny ripples in the water surface. Again, there's a whole big slew of updates for water specifically. The reflections, how it interacts with the worlds. They've really focused on water over the last 6 months. It's been crazy, almost a year at this point. And then we have quality of life. A significant number of UI and quality of life enhancements have been added, including refined pop-up visuals, the ability to add favorite bases or space stations to the teleporter menu. I like that. East and West compass icons. Yes! Now we can see East and West. You guys, you don't know how awesome that's going to be for a fugitive run. East and West. All right. Improved first-person exocraft handling and the Starship attempting to land at the best possible pad in space. Wait a minute. We could have... Oh, it will always try to land on the best possible pad. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean, best possible? Does that mean closer to the marketplace? Oh, now I need to go test that out. What do they mean by the best? So variable refresh rate, so VRR, is coming to PlayStation. 120 Hz output display and variable refresh rate is now available on PlayStation 5 for supported displays, enabling ultra smooth visuals, reduced latency, and higher frame rates without introducing stutter. So if you're on PlayStation 5, you can now get 120 Hz display. That doesn't mean frame rate. That just means it has a higher refresh rate, so it should look smoother when you're playing the game. If you know, you know. If you don't know, don't worry about it. It's not a feature that's going to be on a lot of different monitors. If you're a crazy person like me, this is freaking awesome. They're putting it on PlayStation now. I'm hoping this extends out to other platforms coming soon, because I want that for my PC, dang it. All right, and then we have Titanic planets. Find these colossal worlds in purple class star systems, terrestrial planets on a never-before-seen scale. These dominate their local area and warp the gravity on each of their many moons. So, dude, we have Titan planets now. Titanic planets. I'm going to say Titan planets because they're Titans, right? Holy cow. Exotic worlds. We've already had these, but I guess they're going to do even more. Giant alien planets have taken root across the universe. That means every system, bringing diversity as well as eerie beauty to each of the planets they infest. So we're going to have new types of exotic planets. That's going to be interesting because we already have like a handful of them now. I think there are 6 or 7 different kind of exotic planets before. Now we have even more. Mutated biomes. This is going to be for your radiation planets. Radioactive planets are more varied and full of life. Isotopic trees form and grow in new patterns throughout the universe, distorted by the uranium-rich soil of their irradiated homeworld. So, again, overhauling how planets are generated simply because they did a whole smattering on the terrain generation. Titan Stripes ship customizations. We have a new ship customization when you build your ship. Complete the Titan expedition to earn unique Titan Stripes for fighter and hauler. Wait a minute, it's only for fighter and hauler starships, evoking the aesthetic of 1970s science fiction book covers. So this paint job is only for fighters and haulers. You can't get it on explorers. You can't get it on solar ships, and we can build those. Really? Okay. That's weird. So yeah, and it is a expedition reward, so you have to finish the expedition, the Titan expedition, in order to get that paint job. And then we have deep water quality of life. Slice through underwater environments with a faster, more maneuverable, and more responsive Nautilus submersible exocraft. Boost, dive, or resurface with a single command, and excavate terrain with the new dredging laser technology. The experience of swimming has also been significantly improved with enhancements to agility, camera responsiveness, and underwater multi-tool accuracy. So they overhauled how you swim in water, but also how the submarine flows through water, which is freaking awesome. I was thinking they were going to do that with a water update in Worlds Part 1, but they waited till now. So now we have a whole bunch of overhauls here. Dramatic reentry. The experience of re-entering the atmosphere from space has been refreshed with new visual effects. So now, when you enter the atmosphere of a planet, it's going to look different than it was before. Before, it was just the screen would shake and the edges would turn red as you entered the atmosphere. So now we have a whole new animation when we go into an atmosphere of a planet. Sun-soaked variety. Burnt worlds, so fire planets, have been revitalized with new formations of heat-seeking foliage and ever-burning minerals spread across the universe. So again, they updated all of that stuff. Then we have localized anomalies. Planets can now fall under the influence of strange weather anomalies, including dramatic electromagnetic events, enhanced storms and tornadoes, and even localized gravity inversion zones. So localized means it's in one area. So it's not the whole planet at the same time. It's in one special spot on the planet. That is freaking awesome. So generally, but before the update, if you had a storm or any kind of an event, it would be the entire planet no matter where you went. This sounds like it's only going to be in certain spots. So you don't, if you're in one, you can just run away and get out of it. That is freaking awesome. Get out of there. And then we have the Wraith Starship. Survey new worlds in the Titan expedition to claim the Wraith, a unique living ship dredged from the inky depths of the water world. So we have a brand new, I was gonna say it has fins like a fish. So it's a new living ship that's more fish-like than the traditional living ships. Dude, guys, I could go on for hours and hours and hours. I don't want to make this too long. It's already over 40 minutes long. But seriously, this is a massive, massive sounding update. It changes so much about the game, both visually, the things we work with, but also behind the scenes, the file format, the modding to the game has been overhauled. This is completely massive. Hopefully you guys liked the video. If you did, hit that like button. It's a massive video. And guys, I'm going to be streaming today. We do have an expedition starting next week, but drops are going to start tomorrow for Twitch. Go over there, follow me over on Twitch. I will be putting out a separate video for that because this one is way too long. And I will see you guys next time. Holy cow.